Radio. Okay, so that's saying we're live. Are we live though? Because I'm not seeing any video show up on. There we go. That looks like, yep. Give that a quick refresh and see if I can't get a chat window up. Yep, there we go. Final Fantasy 14, number 13. Log chat. And there we go. All that set up. Oh, hello. And here we are, back in Eorzea with Sorin. So, bit of a recap of last stream. So we started off in Corvus, dealing with some trouble and, you know, finding out that the Inquisitor was actually not an Inquisitor. But we dealt with that problem, we got access to the Stone Vigil, and we found the Enterprise again. The airship that's going to take us to the Howling Eye, which is where Garuda is currently hiding, building up power. But, well, one, the airship needs a bit of time to prepare, so we can't go immediately. And during that time, Cid and Alphinaud have sent Sorin off to find a corrupted crystal that will make it a more sure thing being able to get through the storm, because we then might actually be able to dispel the storm, or at least part of it, long enough for us to make our way through safely. Which is more guaranteed than just charging into the storm and going, hey, we might survive to, you know, save the realm. But to start all that, we need to head to Fisherman's Guild for now, because I believe we need to go to Aleport. Because we attempted to get one corrupted crystal from the Burning Wall in Fanalan, but that was the wrong type of Aether apparently. It would type that would only make the storm stronger, which is not what we want. Western Eorzea. I've never quite been able to figure out, because I don't think I've ever really been paying too much attention when it's been said in voice lines, and I don't think it's even said in many voice lines for me to remember it. Is whether the C in Eorzea is a hard C, like is it Noskia? Or is it, like, am I pronouncing that right, Eorzea? Noskia? I don't know. Anyway. Excuse me, ma'am. Might you be Miss Sienna? Eh? Corrupted crystals? Sir, I've no interest in being the butt of your jokes, so if you've no reason for addressing me, kindly leave me be. No, ma'am, seriously, I was told you were in, like, doing research on them, and I just need to try and find some. Well, I'll be damned. Professor Lambertine did send you. I beg your pardon, it seems we got off on the wrong foot. I'm Sienna, greatest of the Professor's pupils, which is doubtless why I bid you seek me out. Indeed, I am an accomplished scholar with an extensive background in... Oh gods, just listen to me prattle on and on. I must have given this introduction a dozen times by now. That is looking significantly worse than my current one. Oh, ma'am, Miss Sienna, about those crystals? As I told the Professor in my many missives, I believe that the area surrounding Power Sirius is replete with corrupted crystals of exceptional strength. Unfortunately, I have yet to test my hypothesis, as all access to the Isles of Umber is prohibited at present, for reasons unknown to me. You see, my attempts to acquire this information are often met with annoyance and disdain. It's rather puzzling, since I always take the time to explain my motivations in great detail to the subjects of my questioning. And mayhap you'll have better luck wresting information from these yellow jackets. I've all but given up at this point. I think I might have an idea as to why you're struggling with that, man, but probably just best I deal with this myself. I just want to put my normal trousers on. The scholar ones don't quite match. Oh, what's running down there? I assumed one of them would be in the bar. Down below. I think it's up there. Is there one? That must be far serious. Those certainly look like the same type of crystals that were around the burning wall. Oh. Excuse me, ma'am. I just had a question about Far Sirius. You startled me. Don't you know better than to sneak up on a person at a time like this? What with all this fatuous gossip of spirits and spectres haunting the Isles of Umber? Just because I know it's nonsense doesn't make it any less frightening. Ah. Ghosts, is it? Ghosts at the Isles of Umbra. That's, well, I'm not going to deny it could be ghosts. You're keen on travelling to the Isles of Umber? Bloody hells, lad, are you drunk or just crazy? There's nothing there but death, and more death. Well, thank you for the information, sir. It was, not particularly informative. But if there's a lot of, well, dying going on, I guess ghosts and spectres aren't all that out of the question. Excuse me, sir. I just had questions about the Isles of Umber. The Isles of Umber? What interest have you in that god's forsaken place? Ever since we were forced to abandon Far Sirius, the Isles have become naught more than a graveyard for ships unable to navigate the shores, and a purgatory for the souls dragged down to the depths with them. Ah. So a lot of shipwrecking going on. Again, sounds like the perfect place for the dead to rise. I feel I saw this back in Tantara. Well, I'll report what I found to the Sienna, though I don't think she'll be too impressed with the explanation of ghosts. That's the reason she's being ignored. Excuse me, Miss Sienna? I've asked around Yellow Jackets and, well... Ah, Sorin, you returned. Tell me your findings. Really? Infested with the undead, you say? That is a very, very interesting development. Excuse me for a moment while I gather my thoughts. Yes, ma'am. Are you doing okay there? Worry not, my friend. I've given your findings some thought, and I've concluded that this talk of spirits is not more than local folklore. As for why all travel to the Isle of Umber is restricted, well, mayhap it's considered too dangerous, owing to the abandonment of Far Sirius. Yes, well, anyway, while you were questioning those Yellow Jackets, I paid a visit to the local pub, since even an esteemed scholar like myself enjoys dulling her wits on occasion. It was there that I heard tell of a man named Skyfrin, who was recently detained after returning from, wait for it, the Isles of Umber. This is the first I've heard of someone actually travelling to and from there, so I'm curious as to how he obtained permission. Mind having a chat with him in my stead? He was arrested after all, so I'm somewhat reticent to approach him myself. Okay, ma'am. I can... Was he imprisoned for coming from the Isles of Umbra, or is it unrelated? Did she say whether or not it was for that? No, no, it doesn't say that was why he was detained. I wasn't misremembering. It was left vague. Actually, what his crime is. Remember, it wasn't too long ago that Miss Killia came down here to talk to the prisoner. I have to go back. She calls to me. Sings to me. Tell Muridor I'm sorry. Give him this. He was right. Or you could release me. Yes, release me. I will go and tell her. Let me go to her. I don't really have that authority, sir, and is he okay there? Well, I wouldn't say I'm a mate, but that certainly sounds a little ominous. Maybe did he lose a did he lose a loved one on in one of the shipwrecks, or no? Miss Sienna? What did Skyfern have to say? That's not terribly helpful. I couldn't care less how much he misses his favourite bar wench. But what was that about a man named Mimidoa? Wait, I know that name. That's the bastard who grabbed my arse the other day at the pub. Well, if you want to give him that favour, be my guest. I'm not going anywhere near him and his wandering hands. It's perfectly fair, ma'am. I'll go and see if I can't find out anything else from him. What is this feather? Brilliant feather reflects light as if it were actually made of gold. It certainly doesn't look like it came off a normal bird. Judging from Miss Sienna's description, I'm going to guess this is our man. Excuse me, sir. Never Venetia, are you? No? Then what are you? Speak up, son. I can't hear you. I was sent by Mr. Skyfron with this favour. Bugger me! Is that what I think it is? Nah, couldn't be. You found this, you say? Where'd you say you found it? Skyfron, you say? I was hoping to have a word with the lad, but it sounds like there's naught left twixt his ears. He was supposed to help patch up fires seriously, he was. The company sent me to supervise the lot of them. Weren't getting the work done on their own, see? Half of them walked off, half of them ran off, and half of them have been vanished. That's 3 halves, sir. What's that? You be looking for passage to the Isles Umber? Why didn't you say so? I've been thinking of dispatching someone to take a look on behalf of old Mumido. Tell him how the land lies. Ain't nobody be interested till you came calling. Old Port's up in arms about spirits and so forth. If I had the gill, I'd hire some sellswords and let him sort it out. But he'll do in a pinch, he will. I show this parchment to the skipper, and he'll see you there and back. Well, that was easier than I expected. Excuse me, Miss Sienna? I think I've got a passage to the Isles of Umber. So you went and had a word with Mumidoa. I hope the valuable time you saw fit to waste amounted to something. I don't think it was wasted time, ma'am. I did get this, after all. You mean that disgusting creature of Skyfern's superior? I find that hard to believe. But this writ of passage does appear to be genuine, so it must be true. I must say, it is a relief to work with such an industrious man as you. I look forward to hearing of the discoveries you will make on the Isles of Umber. Without me. Ma'am? You're not coming along? I thought you were keen on investigating. Fine, fine. I fail to see the justification for dragging me along on your journey, but if you insist, I will go as well. But 12 is my witness, and if you leave me behind to be devoured by some horrid abomination, I shall come back to haunt you. Don't worry, ma'am. No one else is dying on my watch. I'm starting to get the feeling those ghost tales concern her more than she wants to let on. Excuse me, sir. Take me to the Isles of Umber, bids, as if it's as simple as... Oh, I see you've got a rid of passage. Alright then, climb aboard. Excuse me. Miss Sia, how are you doing? This doesn't seem all that bad. I'm not saying I'd like to build a summer home here, but... Oh, the hells with this. Here, take your pot and go on without me. You've harvested corrupted crystals before, right? So it isn't as though you require my assistance. Speak to the man guarding the gate. I'm sure he'll let you in. If you would please excuse me. Ma'am, didn't you say I should... I'm sure if she stays near the boat, she won't get herself in too much trouble. Excuse me, Mr. David? I beg your pardon, sir, but how did you come here? Access to the island is currently restricted. I was just here to collect a corrupted crystal. An old pot? I'm not sure I follow. Oh, I see. You wish to harvest a corrupted crystal? Sorry, friend, but you may have to return empty-handed. Is there a problem here? The writ Master Mumidor gave you may grant you access to the island, but only authorized personnel may proceed past this point. Why, you ask? Look up and see for yourself. When that giant mass of crystal struck the lighthouse, it caused severe damage to both the structure and the machinery within that once powered the beacon. Aye, contrary to what the small folk would have you believe, the fires of Pharaoh Sirius were not the product of a mage's thaumaturgy or a colossal arcane bomb, but an elaborate contraption fueled by ethereal energy. The repairs are still ongoing, but it's anyone's guess when they'll be complete. What's worse, all work has ceased since rumours of the Walking Dead drove off our entire crew. Not that those rumours are incorrect. I've observed the fiends from a distance at the ship graveyard to the south. What's drawn them to our shores is still a mystery, though. I'll make you a deal, Sorin. Help me unravel this mystery, and I'll bring you your corrupted crystal. In fact, I shall begin searching for one that satisfies your requirements. As for where to begin your inquiries into the situation, it so happens that a party of free adventurers came ashore not long ago, seeking to scavenge valuable trinkets at the ship graveyard. I'd be surprised if they knew nothing of the undead infestation, so it might behoove you to question them. Thanks for the information, sir, and thanks for trusting me enough that you're going to go ahead and gather that. Let's see if I can't make sure I have something to report. Excuse me there, sir. Just wondering what you might know about the undead infestation? It's all there for the taking. 5 bleeding years' worth of wrecks in their cargo. Those queer dead things, and that voice. Actually, the voice was quite nice. Sir, that's... Skyfriend spoke about a voice, didn't they? Someone calling him, singing to him. God, that voice, that single fleeting verse. I can still hear it. Stay clear of the southern shore, friend. It took every ounce of my strength to resist. How... You have any information about this undead infestation, sir? You saw them too, right? Dead people, just shambling about, without a care in the world. Except when they do care. Well, except when they do seem to care, that is, and start shuffling towards the water. That's curious. Doesn't tell me much, but it's... well, enough to deduce that something is going on. Excuse me, Mr. David, I've finished my questioning. This talk of an alluring voice is disturbingly familiar, as if... But that's impossible. They're all dead, aren't they? Who's all dead, sir? But if they have returned, that would mean... Oh, I beg your pardon. I was just, thinking about something. Which reminds me, I received word that Master Mumido would be arriving any moment. Apparently he grew tired of waiting for that lanky young lad with the 1,000-yawn stare to return. Which I'm assuming is you. I don't know what sort of arrangement you had, but you should probably go and explain yourself. Lanky? Tired? Well, I guess maybe it seems that way to Lalafell. Mr. Mumido? What's been keeping you in this shit? I ain't getting any younger, you know. Yeah, some honey-voiced harlot's been calling out to folk with wandering near to a ship graveyard, and it's stirred up the dead and all. Bloody hells, this takes me back to my days as a cannon boy, sailing under old Mistbeard. But they wouldn't dare, would they? Not after the lesson we learned them last time. Bah, they bloody would, though, wouldn't they? Brazen old biddies. Some folks said as the first purge would be the last, but I knew deep down in my bones as this day would come. And come it has. I'd bet me bum ear are sirens behind all this. Nay, not one of the sanguine variety in a shit. I speak of the other kind. Them what's got feathers and lure sailors to a watery grave with their sweet, sweet song. Oh, but it don't end there. No drowning's just the start. See, even in death, a man stays bound to the beast, forced to do our bidding till his corpse can't do it no more. That is a fate I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. Except maybe in drink, and I'd regret it after. Any road, 'tis up to us to stop this hell's-born hussy afore she takes another soul. Of course, we can't send you marching off to war without these. The siren don't have no power over man as can't hear our song. It is lucky for you I carry a spare pair. Unlucky for the both of us I'm a superstitious old sod, eh? Well, she ain't coming to us, so we best head over to her. To the ship graveyard and the shit. What are these? Brass ear plugs. Don't seem particularly comfortable, but I guess it's probably significantly more comfortable than, well, being enthralled like that. I'll maybe not take a gamble on the echo making me resistant to this kind of corruption as well. Mr. Mumido? What now? If she passes near the shore, she's sure to spy the campfire and come looking. Just a matter of waiting now. It's a matter of waiting, is it? I've waited before. I'm beginning to wonder if some sly bugger ain't spun us a yarn here. I don't have much else to go on, sir. But, sir? Are you okay there? Quiet! Do you hear that? Sir! Look! Out of the water! She's coming to shit! She's come! So, that's Siren, sir? Quick, lad! Shove them plugs in your ears and get ready for a fight! As soon as she realizes you're deaf to her ditties, she'll call in her thralls. We'll be up to our neck in corpses before you know it. Yes, sir. Oh, hello, Mooney. Yep, just in time for Siren. Eos, I might need you here. Okay. In this level, Scholar's AoE, like when you first unlock it, is rather shiny. That is... Because it has the same potency as your single target spell, but it has instant cast and its AoE. Which is pretty nice. Regenerate. That's just, you have to just avoid getting too close to that, isn't it? Looks like it. So, I don't think it matters too much because Eos seems to be able to just heal it out easy enough. Duty complete. I guess that's enough to scare her off, but if we didn't defeat her, she'll just end up going back. Mr. Mimido? Am I alright? I'm better than that, Nishit. Happy as a sailor in a whorehouse, am I? I am. Of course, I'd be happy as a sailor with 2 Watsits if we got it the songstress. But you can't have everything, can you? She'll not come crooning around here again, though. Not for a while, anyway. And if she does, well, we know what to do, don't we? Thanks for the help, bugger me, I've clean forgot your name. Remind me. Sorin, sir. Sorin Sherwood. Sorin? Don't recall having known this shit by that name. But if you're not my old mate, what's name? Why have you been so bloody helpful? Ah, never mind. I'll be seeing you, lad. Okay, sir. Guess I should return to David and... if Mimido is in charge around here, that means he's probably David's boss. And, well, if his boss seems happy enough with what I've done, then hopefully David will be willing to hand over that crystal. I think part of it's because at that stage he's floating out over the ocean, there's not really much you can do. You need the anti-Leviathan boat. You mean it was a siren? But how are you able to resist her song? Just earplugs, sir. I see. I'd heard that Master Mimido was involved in the first purge, but I never actually... Now, having survived an ordeal like that, I can't blame him for carrying earplugs around with him. Anyway, I have something for you. The corrupted crystal you wanted, safely sealed within the pot, just as you requested. Please, take it with my compliments. Thank you, sir. Right, that's the crystal. Should probably just get this checked out by Sienna, who... Excuse me, sir. Do you know... I think she must have hit... She must have gone back. I'll get this crystal checked out, and then back to Mr. Garland and Alphinaud. Garuda's still out there, growing stronger. Oh, it's you! Welcome back, Sorin. You're looking remarkably hale, I must say. And, more importantly, alive. You are alive, aren't you? Yes, ma'am, as far as I could tell. And, I was able to procure this crystal. Aha! The conquering hero returns bearing a gift. Might I have a closer look? Impressive. Very impressive indeed. Yes, I think you'll be quite pleased with this specimen. Congratulations, Sorin. Seldom, if ever, have I encountered a corrupted crystal composed of such a volatile overabundance of fire aspect to Aether. Fire, that's not wind, right? So that's good. But what? You wanted a corrupted crystal composed of ice aspect to Aether to counteract the effects of a raging wind? Well, this specimen won't help you there. Anyone who knows anything about the elements can tell you that. You'll just have to keep looking, I suppose. So, it's an ice... Okay. Where might... Do you know where I might find an ice aspect crystal? Don't fret now. I know exactly where to find a corrupted crystal comprised of ice aspect of Aether. An associate of mine in Gridania has been studying the effects of one such crystal on living beings. What's with that expression? I thought you'd be pleased to hear this news. This is not another wild dodo chase, I assure you. And what's even better is that this time you didn't use that warded pot of yours to protect yourself from this crystal's energies. Heaton's findings suggested it is quite safe. Why, you ask? Well, let's just say that it has undergone a unique process that has rendered such precautions unnecessary. Anyway, do not let me keep you. It has been a pleasure, Sorin. Come back and see me sometime, alright? Yes, I'm just a little concerned about the way... this process you mentioned. The way you spoke about it, and... I guess there's nothing for it. Hopefully Mr. Garland or Alphinaud don't see me while I'm stopping by Gridania. Do not... Would rather not have to spend time explaining why this is taking me so long. That looks like the uniform. Excuse me, might you be Mr. Heaton? Greetings and salutations! Mr. Sherwood, I presume. Sienna informed me of your adventures in Haleport. Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding. Though, as Professor Lambertain is fond of saying, no action taken in the name of science is ever truly wasteful. To the matter at hand. Corrupted crystals possessing the properties you seek can be found in abundance at the standing courses following the calamity. Alas, that is no longer the case. And while there is at least one suitable crystal that remains to be found within the 12th, precisely where it is at any given moment is more difficult to say. Permit me to explain. You are familiar with Spriggans, yes? The furry little rascals that are wont to seek out ores and other stones. I think I ran into a couple while I was in the Copperbell mines, but I think that's about it. Well, one such creature with an infamously insatiable appetite has single-handedly devoured every corrupted crystal in the Twelveswood. Fortunately for you, these crystals take an eternity to digest, assuming they can even be digested. And I am reasonably confident that one still resides within his gut. It's quite fascinating, really. My theory is that this Giggity first consumed a corrupted crystal when... you couldn't care less about all this, could you? To the point, then. Giggity seldom makes his presence felt unless there is a particularly fine fodder to be had. Therefore, we shall require a lure, and I have precisely the sort he will find impossible to resist. Simply place this true heart, I shall save the story of the origin of its unusual name for another occasion, outside of the Spriggan's lair and wait for the opportune moment to pounce. As for the method by which you retrieve the crystal from his gut, I shall leave that to your discretion. Oh. That's how it is, then. Oh, these quests. I suppose I should be glad that, I don't know, there's at least a crystal there, right? Maybe. He said he didn't know. I'm beginning to wonder if maybe we shouldn't just risk taking the Enterprise into the storm. Oh, these are low enough level, I can just run past them. These ones are not, however. This is a... oh, hello. I wanna kill her. Immediate threats dealt with. This bright blood-coloured aura is thought to be a symbol of loyalty and honesty. Let's see if this works as well as for bait does. Oh, that's a... I'm going to guess the bait worked. That's a pretty big friggin'... oh, now I've got a friend. Did have a friend. Just have to deal with this guy before I can get this crystal back to Eden. Eden? Seem to be in the clear. This. I never asked him about... I don't think I asked him. Oh, sorry, I was just gonna check the journal just to check things again, and I just, in a primal frenzy, you rip and tear open the Spriggan's huge guts and claim the corrupted crystal nestled deep within. Yeah, I don't think that's quite in character, so I'm kind of gonna just ignore that a little bit. Yeah, I didn't ask him or get an explanation about how to stop the crystals, like, what's a fantasy word for radioactive? Oh, sorry, I only see that now, Mooney, but yeah. Yep, as we just read in the journal, yep. You don't just reach in, you... I think that journal entry definitely would have worked better for Seri than Sorin. Oh, pray do not speak up to me like that. I was engrossed in... oh, wait, what is that? What is that god's awful smell? Crystal, sir. My word, that's a breathtakingly beautiful crystal. I see my supposition was not mistaken. And I also see you weren't averse to digging through Spriggan entrails for your prize. We owe our furry friend a debt of gratitude, you know? This thick coating of digestive juices is protecting us from the harmful effects of the crystal, just as the warded pot you once used did. Ah. Why so glum, friend? You finally obtained a corrupted crystal you sought, one overflowing with earth aspected Sir, I was told very specifically that I would find a ice aspected crystal here. Calm down, I jest. It is comprised of ice aspect Aether, worry not. I suppose that joke was in poor taste, considering your previous 2 attempts were for naught. Indeed, sir. This isn't exactly a casual matter. Oh, beg your pardon, sir. I forgot to return your crystal to you. Oh, and there was a message for you from Professor Lambertine. Something about a man named Marx? Apparently the professor misses the intellectual stimulation. Forgive me, I should have written it down. It occurs to me that I have yet to ask why you needed that crystal. You aren't planning anything nefarious, are you? It would reflect poorly on me and my research if it was used for evil ends. Well, perhaps it's best I remain ignorant. I didn't become the professor's greatest pupil by filling my head with unnecessary information. Just off to fight a god, sir. Was the airship landing? Oof. I suppose at least with this last the crystal I actually needed being in Gridania, really, if Mr. Lambertine had just told me immediately that I needed ice aspect Aether, I could have come straight to Gridania. If things had worked out well, maybe I wouldn't have even needed to leave. I guess what's done is done. Maybe this has given Mr. Garland enough time to repair the airship. Why do you tarry, Sorin? Our work is not yet finished. We must press onward until the Harpy Queen lies broken at our feet. I've been working, Alphinaud. Mr. Garland? How's the Enterprise? All the repairs and modifications have been completed, Sorin. Once you bring me that crystal, nothing will stand between us and Garuda. Well then, sir. I have the crystal, just... please try and ignore the smell. I'll need to run some tests to be sure, but this looks to be exactly what we need. Worry not, Sorin. I'll see that your hard work doesn't go to waste. I believe you, sir. The Enterprise is already more than a common airship, but mark my words, soon it will become something greater. Something extraordinary. This is me. This is what I was born to do. No fancy. Oh, you straight up don't get a Disciple of Magic option at this quest. Mr. Garland? Are we ready? According to my tests, the device is now functioning in perfect harmony with the crystal, meaning we can leave whenever you're ready. But you must understand, tests can only tell one so much, until we approach the Howling Eye, until we attempt to breach the barrier itself. I cannot be sure that this will work. I think it's only fair to tell you there's a small, but statistically significant chance that the crystal could trigger a massive... Mayhap it is better that we remain positive. Sorin, I want to thank you for reuniting me with my ship, for trusting me to develop this plan, for everything. You've helped me to rediscover part of myself I've forgotten. I'm not the man I once was, and I do not know if I ever shall be, but I do know one thing. This feels right. My apologies for this unnowed point of sentiment. I would have waited until after the mission, but, well, you understand. Don't worry, sir. I'm sure your device will work. You haven't let us down so far. And even when you couldn't remember who you were, you had your technical knowledge.
There. She's ready.
Ah, she stirs.
You've got this, Mr. Garland.
To Kurthus, and an audience with the Harpy Queen Garuda. Enterprise, engage.
Damn it. I once flew in this airship, and I was not alone.
You okay, Mr. Garland?
There were adventurers on board. Adventurers like you.
Sir, is everything... never mind.
Just how long have I worn these damn goggles? Ah, yes, I fancied myself a trendsetter in my younger days.
This seems different to the other visions I've seen.
The young prodigy, admired by all, exactly like his father. Born and raised in Garlemald. It was only natural that the precocious young student should become an engineer. Had his father not done the same? Father, when did we stop seeing eye to eye? When did Meteor become your everything, and your loved ones cease to matter?
Who's that?
You abandoned us all, but he was there for me, Father. There for me when you were not. Though he proved no better in the end. Gaius was just another man, with an all-consuming obsession.
Gaius. I feel I've heard that name somewhere.
And so I ran, left the Empire behind and came to Eorzea, where I built the ironworks.
It's different. I don't normally see these visions in such... Was that?
Ah yes, it was then that I first donned these goggles.
No, it couldn't. That couldn't be right.
Eorzea opened my eyes. It was home to so many manner of people, each with their own hopes and dreams. People worth saving, and so I fought beside them. I wanted to prove that my knowledge could serve a nobler purpose. I wanted to prove that there was another way. And it all began that day when I found my new home. I had forgotten how wonderful it was. The wind in your hair, the endless sky. That light. It was you, wasn't it?
I don't quite know, sir, but it
Surprising how
kind
few
of did
people
look
know
like
this,
it.
But all pureblood guardians have a third eye. Perhaps mine helped me recognize you, or perhaps it was just a lucky guess.
Well,
The Enterprise was made for this. To carry Eorzea's protectors into battle. I am proud to be able to call her my own.
Cid? What exactly do you remember?
Alphinaud, my boy. Sorry to have been such a burden. I remember everything. My name, my people, and my purpose. Everything. Come, it would be rude to keep Garuda waiting.
so that's the eye of the storm. Seems your generator worked, Mr. Garland. What is it, Sorin? Don't tell me you're having second thoughts at a time like this. Or do you truly wish to return to Gridania? No, sir. Not having second thoughts at all. Just wondering how you're doing. Probably processing. Alphinaud, what's the plan? All our efforts, all our travails, all of it was for this. Make ready, Sorin, for the end is nigh, be it hers or our own. I'll do my best to make sure it's the former. Howling Eye. Guess for now, maybe we'll return to Britannia and maybe see about doing. Yeah, I have to store. Maybe see about just doing some blue quests in the meantime. Oh, never mind. In we go. So that's Garuda. Who dares intrude upon my sanctuary? Your insolence shall not go unpunished, landwalkers. 12 preserve, she's huge. As I live and breathe. those kobolds and animal shot? Over there, look! Why have they captured other beast tribes? Amalja and kobold prisoners. But why would the XL bring them here? Wherefore come you hither, foolish mortals? Garuda, we are come to put an end to your reign of terror. Hear you this blasphemy, my children? These landwalkers would bring me low. You who are bound to crawl upon the earth should revere me, for I am the wind. Did we not take to the skies and slip your defenses? We are bound by nothing, Garuda. You think your playthings give you strength? They will not help you here, Landwalker. This is my realm, where none can challenge my supremacy. Struggle though you may, I shall slake the roots with your blood, and festoon the canopy with your entrails. Squat! Slay the unfeathered ones we shall, as an offering to Garuda they will serve. Leave the XL to us, Sorin. We will keep them distracted while you deal with her. Do not fail, Sorin. Remember, you fight for the Scions. For Eorzea. Yes, sir. This worm would die by my own hand. Come then, I shall grant you that which you seek. Is this type of it? Okay. Another primal down. No. No! 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 I think I did it, sirs. Or not. What? How in the hells? This is my realm. You have no hope here. None. None! Did you truly believe you could defy a god, Landwalkers? think we might have a problem here, sir. What's going on? My power is limitless, my children legion, and they have rendered unto me a wealth of crystals. Their gifts sustain me, their faith empowers me. None save my children will escape the reckoning, mortals, and those who would use my crystals to waken the rest shall realize the folly of their faith. Then all shall worship none but me, the one true God. Of course, worship. So long as the exile keep praying, she will never fall. Then let's stop them. I don't think that's going to be as easy as... just... yeah. No harm will come to you, my children. This is only the beginning, landwalkers. All who oppose me shall suffer for their defiance. Soon the worms of the forest shall receive my judgment, the desert vermin next. Their walls of stone will not shield them from the tempest. And then will I take vengeance on the sea lice. Their wooden boats cannot outrun the wind. Tremble, mortals, for I shall visit you all in time, but all shall be mine. All mine! You, landwalker, you who dared to raise your hand against me, you shall be the first to pay with your sins. Not with your death, but with your life. You will serve me, landwalker, to your last breath. Doesn't quite work, unfortunately. No, no, I claimed you. You should be mine. Maybe should have asked Ifrit about that. Titan seemed to be aware. The sixth crystal. Is that all of them? There's only 6 markings, so... Still don't quite know what that means. What are you? What have you done to me? I'm honestly not quite sure. No mortal should possess such power. This is impossible. Master Garland, Alphinaud, you're both okay? And onwards. This is big cutscene now.
Why do you not tremble at my might? Why do you not beg for mercy? Why do you not die? We've done it.
I wouldn't say so quite yet.
Kill you all.
Is that all? O Lady of the Vortex, O mighty Garuda.
You're Gaius from...
Of all primals, the most
I saw
terrible.
him in
I say again.
that vision about
is
Cid's past.
that all?
Gaius!
Ah, Cid, my boy, you look well. For one who has forsaken kin and country. I wonder what else you will forsake before the day is done.
What?
What exactly did you hope to accomplish here this day?
We were dealing with a primal threat.
Well, I shall accomplish far more.
Is that all? Is that all? Insolent mortal! I shall make you suffer! That foul stench! I see now. She has touched you!
The primal of the wind, I
Very
thought you'd be
well.
quicker on the uptake than Ifrit would. He seemed to imply it was a smell as...
Seven
Can you
hells,
smell
does
the
she still
echo?
mean to fight?
Our Lord of the Inferno Almighty brought us succor in our hour of need.
Save us, Titan, Lord of Crags! It hurts us so! The pain! The pain!
Wait,
What is she? 12 preserve. She cannot mean to.
oh, this is, Mr. Garland, Alphinaud? One by one, I might be okay, but, I think 3 primals is a problem.
No. No, this is all wrong.
Stop gawping, boy. We must run.
Don't like it, but fighting isn't an option here. Not if we want to achieve anything.
Surrender yourselves unto me. I would feast upon your ether. None shall stand against the wind.
Bear witness to the glory of the Empire!
Is that kind of a Magitech machine?
It is you who will suffer, Garuda. Ancient Alleg had ways of dealing with your kind. Now, look on their ultimate weapon, Icon, and despair.
No! No! No!
Magnificent. It exceeds all expectation.
Mr. Garland? Alphinaud? That looks like a problem.
With each primal it consumes, it grows more powerful. A marvel, is it not?
Such is the fate of those who oppose the Empire. There will be no warriors of light to save you this time. If your leaders are as wise as they are reported, they will surrender. Your skills are impressive, but they will not be enough.
Have mercy. What chance have we against such an ungodly creation? And who was that armored devil?
That was Gaius van Balsar, legatus of the 14th Imperial Legion and Supreme Commander of the Garlean invasion force in Eorzea.
Of course. The Black Wolf. How could I not realize? Grandfather mentions him in his journal.
I was never so naive as to think the man would abandon his ambitions. But these developments are beyond my worst expectations. What have you been doing these past 5 years? How could something of this magnitude have escaped the Alliance's attention?
We heard no whispers, saw no signs. In the wake of the calamity, the Empire seized land and built outposts, but that was the extent of their aggression.
Damn it, Gaius. Where in the seven hells did you find that thing?
You mentioned
It has
something
been
about
a day of unexpected developments.
ancient
The
knowledge.
fact remains, Garuda is no longer a threat. While I take no comfort in the manner of her downfall, it does mean that we may safely put the matter of the primals to one side. For the time being, at least.
Which just leaves the matter of Gaius's new toy.
Indeed. That weapon poses the greatest threat to Eorzea. It must be destroyed. But first, we must needs find out all we can. Let us make for Vesper Bay. We shall rebuild the Scions. All is not yet lost, my friend. For we bear the light, and shall surely lead our people from the darkness.
You know, while I appreciate more than anyone maybe the desire to rebuild the Scions, how much time can we afford to spend on recruitment and trying to find everyone that weapon didn't destroy those primals, it devoured them. Gods only know what else it can do. Well, that was an experience I would rather not have again. Something has been troubling me, Sorin. Shortly before the Black Wolf took center stage, when Garuda attempted to claim you as her own, I could have sworn I saw... But I'm sure I was mistaken. In times of great stress, the evidence of the eye is apt to be misread by even the most inquiring mind. I forget I mentioned it. Returning to the subject of our earlier discussion, we may consider the matter of the primals closed until further notice. No beast tribe will dare summon their god so long as that weapon exists. Truly, a more effective deterrent I could not imagine. It almost seems a shame to plot its destruction. Sorry about that. I had this. Expect to take money. Alphinaud, I hope you're not thinking about trying to steal it rather than destroy it. It is past time we return to the Waking Sands. Leave our headquarters in disrepair any longer would be to dishonour the memory of those who fell there. We have been brought to our knees, but we will rest, rebuild, and rise once more. I'm with you, Alphinaud, but I'm still concerned about how much time we can afford to spend on, well, not dealing with that weapon. Excuse me. Right. I haven't actually been here since the attack. Feels so empty with no one around. So many people I hardly got to know. I had no idea, Sorin. I can only imagine how you felt when you returned that day. Thanks, Mr. Garland. Alphinaud? Tell me, Sorin, does aught here strike you as odd? Is that supposed to be a joke? I see signs of recent habitation. Could it be we have trespassers? Mayhap it is just my imagination. Come, let us proceed into the solar. I haven't seen anything that looks, like people have been here recently. It seems to be in as much of a mess as last time. Wait! Mr. Garland? Ida! Who goes there? Now, Ida. Is that any way to greet a friend? Alphinaud! Sorin! Cid? Wait, is this a dream? Not that I'm aware of. It's been a while, Ida. I don't believe it. I was sure you'd been... She made it out okay. This place has seen better days. I wasn't actually here when... I was still in talks at the Adder's Nest. The first I knew about it was when I came back and I saw... Ida. The church had taken care of the bodies, but that still left the stains. It was hard to know where to start. If Y'shtola hadn't been here to help me... Y'shtola is here too? Yes, but she's not here right now. She's gone to Ul'dah to meet a man who might know what happened to the others. Papalymo and Minfilia weren't among the dead, according to the church. Y'shtola thinks they were taken somewhere. Upon the orders of the Black Wolf, no doubt. Why would he want them? Because they possess something he desires. Knowledge of another power that could be brought to bear against the primals. One that Gaius has yet to harness. The Echo. Could he do that? Gaius will be aware of its existence, as well as the immunity it grants to gifted to the primal's influence. Powerful though his Allagan weapon may be, he would doubtless desire such protection. He means to use Minfilia to gain an understanding of the Echo, none of which explains how the Empire came to know the location of the Wakened Sands in the first place. No matter. The Empire has shown its hand, and now we must act. It is up to us to rebuild the Scions and save Eorzea. Can I count on you, Ida? What? Yes. Yes, of course. Whatever you need. We can discuss our next move upon Y'shtola's return. For now, I say we rest. Some of them did survive. That's... I hardly dared to hope, but... Oh.
Hear, feel, think.
Hydaelyn? This is... new.
Bringer of light.
Me? Yes?
Brave gatherer of the crystals, thy soul burneth bright. I am Heidelin, all made one. Hearken unto me now, for the darkness doth begin to spread. Wear thee the bearer of the crimson brand, for he is the avatar of shadow, whom death attendeth always.
The bearer of the crimson
crystals shall be thy
Ascians?
salvation, thy blade and shield both.
Are you...
Steel thyself,
Does this mean the Ascians are
for at
part
the
of what's
appointed
going on with the
hour,
Empire, or is...
thou shalt stare into the heart of darkness. Go with caution, my child, but fear not, for I am ever with thee.
Miss Yashtar! Yashtar! Sorin, I see you and Alphinaud are safe, and Cid. That we five should meet each other thus defies simple explanation. It is as if the benevolent hand of Master Lusoir guides us still. He would not see us undone so easily. Not now, when the need is so great. I know where Minfilia and the others are being held. Where? They are alive? An Imperial stronghold in the heart of Mordona. Castrum Sentry. Castrum, that's... problematic. Guys may have called it a weapon of ancient Allag, but I saw extensive Magitech modifications. An Imperial Castrum? That was to be expected, I suppose. Alright, let's do this. Let's go and rescue Minfilia and the others. I'm on board with that. Miss Yashtar, do you have a plan at all? The rescue of our allies will be no small undertaking, Sorin. Even under normal circumstances, breaching the defense of an Imperial Castrum would be a highly dangerous proposition. But now that Castrum Sentry houses prisoners whom the Gallians deem valuable, we may be confident that they have taken additional measures to ensure the stronghold's security. If we are to free our friends, we will require an effective strategy. And if we are to formulate an effective strategy, we will require intelligence. I believe I know a man who may be able to assist us in this. Lord Portalane of House Durndare. He is stationed at the Observatorium in Lord Curfus. Let us go to him and beseech his aid. Lord Portalane? I believe I've met him. If we're heading back to Curfus, I guess I should dress for the weather. Hat back on. Oh, dragon hit. I don't actually think I've spoken to Lord Portalane since, well, he sent me off to Camp Dragonhead to speak with Lord Harshfont. Maybe while I'm here, I don't feel I'm passing through Curfus very much, so I'm going to say hello. Can't hurt as well as maybe see if we still have allies here. Lord Orshfon? Your service to House Fort Holmes will not be forgotten, my friend. If you ever have need of me, do not hesitate to ask. I won't, sir. No, even if he does say that, it's one thing asking for help and some like trying to just find something for me and a couple of friends. It's another to ask him, a lord of from another country, to help attack an imperial facility. From what I've gathered as well, Ishgard has enough problems. I'll try not to put too much more on his plate. Yeah, his gang is back together. Well, most of it. All of this soon enough. Lord Portline? Sorin, the man who unmasked the heretic in our midst. To what do I owe the pleasure of your company? You are an associate of Y'ashtola, but of course, Lord Drillmond confided to me that you are a scion of the Seventh Dawn. I suppose that makes things a little easier, sir. We're wondering about Castrum Sentry. Castrum Sentry? What interest have you all in the Imperials? They hold several of our number, whom we intend to free. Any information you can provide would be greatly appreciated. I see. That might explain our scouts' reports. They observed 4 prisoners being led into the castrum. A Huron woman, an Elizan man, and 2 Lolithels. 1 male, 1 female. It's them! It has to be! Minfilia, Urianja, Papalimo, and Tataru. If that scant morsel is of use to you, you may also be interested to hear about the more recent incident. Incident? An Imperial airship made an emergency landing here in Kerfus not long ago. 2 men, believed to be prisoners, a Rogadin and a Lalafell, were seen fleeing the craft. What did you say? A Rogadin and a Lalafell, Master Garland. Neither wore Imperial dress, and they both seemed disinclined to wait for rescue. Hence our assumption they were prisoners. Well, I'll be damned. It's Biggs and Wedge. Trust those 2 rascals to escape. We must find them, Sorin, and soon. The Imperials will not rest until they are captured or killed. And if Biggs were given the choice, I fear he'd take the latter. Freeing those held in Castrum Sentry will require substantial planning and preparation. As such, it is an endeavour that will admit some slight delay. The matter of the escapees, by contrast, will not. Shortly after the prisoners vacate the airship, our scouts observed Imperial troops setting off in pursuit. It is likely only a matter of time before they catch them. If you wish to see your comrades again, you had best act now. Well, what are we waiting for? If, as has been suggested, the Guardians took our fellow scions prisoner in hopes of understanding the Echo, it seems reasonable to assume that they will not be executed until such a time as the study is complete. But Biggs and Wedge are not scions, nor do they know aught of the Echo. As Lord Portline said, this may prove our only chance to rescue them. I say we seize it. Most definitely, ma'am. Thank you, everyone. You won't regret this. Oh. Cutscene time? Ultimate weapon. Final preparations are almost complete, my lord. There stands the culmination of 5 long years of painstaking work. But all our efforts will be vindicated when the Emperor's vision becomes reality. At last, we have the power to purge this land of its false gods. We shall give the ignorant children of Eorzea the security and stability they so desperately crave, and which their spineless leaders have so palpably failed to provide. As you say, my lord. Rest assured, our engineers will not rest until the weapon is fully armed and operational. Redeton, you depart for Castor Mossesons at midnight. You will command the Western Front in Vilbrand. The Eorzeans will attempt to interfere with our plans. You will see that they do not. My lord, if this be your will, I shall carry it out to the best of my ability. I live only to serve the Empire. Yet, forgive my impudence, but is it proper to give command of half our forces to a... I have given you nothing, Praefectus. You have earned it. That will be all. Dismissed. Yes, my lord. My quarters. 1 hour. Lord Portalain? Where do we start? My purpose here is to reconnoiter Garlean activity along Abalafia's spine. Owing to this, I have the honor of being acquainted with Yashnal. Now, the report of the Imperial airship's emergency landing came to us by way of Zemail Darkhold, situated to the west. Our man stationed at the entrance, a knight named Bristlet, may be able to tell you more. So as to expedite your mission, I shall furnish you with a letter of introduction. I pray that you will soon be reunited with your comrades. May the Fury grant you strength. Thank you, sir. And if you don't mind, I will be leaving immediately. Mr. Bristlet? 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 I think it's Bristlet. You stand before Zemail Darkhold, the subterranean fortress excavated by the great Ishgardian house of the same name. None but authorized personnel may enter. I don't mean to enter the Darkhold, sir. I just had some questions. A letter from Lord Portalain? So you've come about the Imperial airship. Excuse me? According to our scouts, the vessel has scarce touched the ground when a pair of men, captives by all accounts, burst forth and bolted. Imperial soldiers have since been sighted in the area, seeking to recapture them. What? The captives are like to be your friends, you say? Well, let us pray they are yet a step ahead of their pursuers. The emergency landing reportedly took place near the Orm Vale, situated south and west of here. I suggest you take your search there. Seek out a knight named Pierre Mons. He should be able to assist you. Thank you, sir. I'll do that immediately. Hope Biggs and Wedge are doing okay. So, I mean, it's only happened twice, but given what it is, it seems... They seem to have a knack for getting themselves into airship crashes and pursued by Imperials. Excuse me, Sir Piermont? The Imperial airship? Aye, I saw it approach the land with my own two eyes. I hastened to the landing site, arriving just in time to see the vessel take off to the skies again, but not before it deployed a detachment of troops. Gruff orders were being barked, and there was an air of consternation about them. That's Did you see Rogadin or Lalafell by any chance in like blue, black, and white garb? There were prisoners aboard the airship, it seems, and they seized their opportunity to flee when the vessel was forced to land. The Garleans who had deployed formed search parties and proceeded to scour the wilderness. In order to alert our forces, I returned to my post. I had evidence that someone had been here in my absence. Whoever they were, they tried the door to no avail and decided to go elsewhere. In all, I marked 2 sets of footprints, one large and one small. If you search the area, mayhap you will be able to follow the prints to their owners. If I can follow the prints, so can the Imperials. I have to hurry. These are definitely smaller than mine. Guessing this must be Wedge. I haven't seen many Lalafell around Purpose. So unless it's another traveller coming from Mordona. More footprints. Where do they lead? Still more footprints. No sign of any struggling or blood though, so I at least made it this far without getting hurt. Or captured. Still more. Come on, Wedge. Where are you? I'm not going to disappoint Cid by coming back empty-handed. Let's go into the river. Wedge! Okay, never mind. Can't go that way. Wedge, is that you? So cold. I want to go home. Wedge, it's me. Oh, please don't eat me. I'm not nearly sucking as I look. It's all skin and bones underneath, I swear. Sorin, it's you. Oh, thank goodness you're here. It's been awful. The Garleans were snapping at our heels like a hungry pack of wolves. I was so hell-bent on evading them I almost ran headlong into a monster's gaping maw. Thrice! And when I finally found cover, it hit me how cold and hungry I was. But what about Biggs? Biggs, he isn't here. He went off in a different direction to lure our pursuers away. It's me, Cid. Have you had any success? I found Wedge, but... Tracked down Wedge? That's wonderful news. Now what of Biggs? Apparently lured off the Garleans himself. I see. Well, it hardly surprises me the big fellow went off as he did. For all the tongue lashings he gives Wedge, he's always taking care of him. I've scoured the air surrounding the Darkhold, but have nothing to show for it. At any rate, we know for a fact that Biggs headed west. With both Ida and Ystala helping out, I'm sure he'll turn up soon. Now then, I'll make my way over to your position while keeping an eye out for Biggs. If memory serves, there should be an Ishgardian fortification not far to your west. A monument tower, I believe it's called. Let us meet there. Dear, I hope... Was that Master Garland you spoke with? Yeah, we actually found him. After 5 long years. Thank goodness he's alive. I'm feeling better now, Sorin. Let's go to Monument Tower and wait for the chief to arrive. Yes. Guessing this is Monument Tower. You're a long way from home, adventurer. I am a bit, aren't I? Excuse me, ma'am. Could me and a few friends take refuge here for a time? Well met and welcome, adventurer. What brings you to this frozen corner of the realm? Oh, it would seem your companion has caught a chill. Come and warm yourself by the fire. I will bring you a hot broth. Thank you, ma'am. Much appreciated. How are we feeling now, then? Let's stay here as long as you need. The same goes for you, friend. It is plain you have a hard journey ahead of you. You must find rest when you can. Thank you, ma'am. We found one of them, at least. Now just to try and figure out what happened to Biggs. You holding up okay, Wedge? I'm fine now, thanks to you. But I can't bear to think that Biggs is still all alone in the cold, with Garleans on his heels. He lured the enemy away for my sake, and now he's suffering for it. I hate to have to rely on you again, Sorin, but do you think you could search for Biggs? I haven't the slightest notion where he might be at the moment, but maybe, just maybe, the people here have seen something. I'll ask about it for you. Miss Adderley? You haven't happened to see a Rogadin about in the same uniform as Wedge there? A Rogadin gentleman dressed in the same manner as your companion. I'm sorry, but he did not come by here. Let me think for a moment. I would not raise your hopes unduly, but there's a cave situated a short distance to the south. We call it the Fury's Gaze, and it may be worth the while to investigate. I make this suggestion only because your friend seems like a selfless sort. Rather than drawing the enemy to this tower, mayhap he elected to pass us by. That's a point. Thanks for the tip, ma'am. Need to act on any information I find immediately, I feel. Don't have too much time to waste sitting around. Maybe by the time I get back, hopefully with Biggs, Mr. Garland will be back. Biggs? Mr. Biggs? Are you about here? Oops. Not hearing or seeing anyone. Just plasmoids and ghosts. Not what I want to find. I just hope none of these are Biggs. At the very least, I'm not seeing a bottle. I was trying to avoid hitting plasmoids with... Oh, they're level 48. That's fun. I also think I'm confusing Aquila by not picking a target. There's no point. Oh, crap, I just triggered a third one. Okay. This is the problem with enjoying AoEs too much. The single target attacks heal with this last plasmoid. Right. All good. There's actually something. Have I died as Sorin yet? No, I haven't actually. Because I don't have the active help guide for dying yet. which is good. I'd have to actually look up kind of the canon reason why you don't stay dead in Final Fantasy XIV. What? Sorin, were you able to learn anything? Unfortunately, I couldn't see any sign of him, but no sign he's dead either, which is good news, right? Not in this area? Well, that stands to reason, I suppose. As soon as he was trying to lure the Guardians away from me, but where within this vast sea of snow and ice could he be? I don't know. I'm sure we'll find him. If we can't give up Sorin, we must find Biggs before he succumbs to the cold, or is recaptured. There must be someone in this tower who can help us, even if it's only to tell us where else to look. Ask them for me. Ask anyone who will listen. And hurry. Biggs' chances of survival grow slimmer by the moment. Maybe someone higher up in the tower with a better view of the area around us. It's just too tempting when you have an AoE that's better than your default single target spell. For a mere cost of an extra 100 mana. Sorin didn't die. All is good. Excuse me, sir. Your friend is lost in the wilderness, you say? If he's not to be found around here or in the vicinity of the Darkhold, it is possible he made for Whitebrim. To reach it, one must travel through Danathan Pass, the southern end of which lies to the north and east of here. While I make no guarantee that your search will bear fruit, it is surely better than worry and idleness. I wish you luck. Oh, and one more thing. Do tread warily when climbing the stairs here. Not a moon ago I broke my neck when I slipped and took a tumble. Oh, I near broke my neck when I slipped and took a tumble. I was about to say, you're seeming in pretty decent condition for someone who'd broken their neck. Danathan Pass. I hunted that mud puppy there before. And there's a rather nasty looking beast in there as well. I am really concerned for Biggs. I just need to move on as quickly as I can. There it is, Danathan Pass, and that looks like Biggs. I found him. Miss Ida? Miss Yashola? Sorin, we found Biggs, but he's in trouble. I can see. Our orders are to take you back, dead or alive. Which will it be, engineer? Why don't you come and find out, Tinhead? Ah, Sorin. It is well that you're here. The situation is grave. Biggs is in a bad way. We need to do something right now. Ida has the right of it. He will perish if we delay. With me! He's not alone! Kill them all! This is for all listen. This is for the rest of the Scions. Everything. There we go. That's all of them, right? I'm not seeing any more at any rate. Sorin is not happy about what happened at the Waking Sands. My thanks. Another moment and I would have... Biggs? Mr. Biggs? He has been too long in the cold. We must find shelter for him. Mr. Wedge is waiting at Monument Tower. Mr. Garland should be there as well. Monument Tower, you say? Very well. Ida and I shall bear him there with all haste. You sure you don't need a hand? Cid will be so happy to see Biggs and Wedge again. Oh, I love reunions. They are nice. Hopefully it won't be long before we have a bit of one of ourselves. There's 2 more of us back. And hopefully we won't be keeping Minfilia under arrest, waiting too long. Just curious, I won't any new titles for Sorin. Nope. Don't have any titles, let alone a new one. Mr. Wedge? We found him. I cannot thank you enough, Sorin. And the same goes for the rest of you. I thank you all so much. Oh, don't mention it. We are family, are we not? Well, yes, it's just... I didn't think I'd ever see him again. I owed a lot of you my life. And you saved Wedges, too. Sorin, I'm losing count of how many I owe you. You don't owe me anything, Mr. Biggs. Biggs! Wedge! Gods, it's good to see the 2 of you again. Chief! It's you! It's really you! In our hearts, we knew you were still alive. But to finally see you in the flesh... When Alphinaud told me of the raid on the Waking Sands, I feared the worst. What happened? The enemy struck with nary a warning. We didn't stand a chance. Wedge and I were in the workshop when they came. Before we knew what was happening, the Imperials had us at gunpoint. It must have been awful. It's one thing I don't understand, though. How did the Garleans get there so fast? I mean, the Immortal Flame should have seen them coming, right? I myself have asked the same question. That day, when I returned to the carnage at the Waking Sands, I noticed not a mist in the horizon. Nothing at all to suggest the passing of an Imperial force. From this, I conclude that the Garleans came neither by land nor by air. Nay, they are born there by potent teleportation magics. Magics of the kind used by the Asians. Carry on. We were bound and blindfolded, and bundled into the cargo bay of a waiting airship. I can't rightly say how long we were aboard, but when the time came for us to disembark, we found ourselves in the midst of an Imperial stronghold, Castrum Sentry. Upon arrival, we were marched off into the main complex, and Biggs and I were thrown into a detainment cell together, while Minfilia and the others were taken elsewhere. That was the last we heard from them. Castrum Sentry. That confirms what we heard from Miss Yashtala. What happened next? Well, we were held in isolation for what felt like years, but was probably moons, or maybe only weeks. And then, without warning, the Imperials collected the pair of us and put us on another vessel, which we found out was bound for Garlemald, much to our dread. We knew that if we were taken back there, we weren't like to leave again. So, risky though it was, we sabotaged the ship's altitude control, and thereby forced an emergency landing. And in the midst of the ensuing chaos, we managed to slip our captors. The rest, as they say, is history. If I didn't know better, I'd call that a likely story. Sabotaging the altitude controls of an airborne vessel? That would have been Big's handiworks, like as not. You always were resourceful in a tight spot, my friend. Sorin, thank you for returning my dear assistance to me. It would seem I owe you yet another debt of gratitude. You don't owe me anything, Mr. Garland. There are still many questions in my mind, but the answers can wait. Minfilia and the others still want for rescue. Alright, you lot. Garland Ironworks is back in business. Let's go and give the Imperials what for. Hurrah! Thank goodness you found me, Sorin. I would have frozen, or drowned, or been eaten by a mud puppy if it wasn't for you. I'm sure you would have been fine, Wedge. Biggs, how are you holding up? I knew the chief was still alive, and deep down I always knew. And he looks healthy too. Well, he could do with a shave, I suppose, but other than that... You don't think the beard suits him? Oh. So, Mr. Garland, what's the next step? Thanks to you, Bitch and Wedge are with us again. Now we must find a way to rescue Minfilia and the others. Gods know we've kept them waiting too long already. Based on what we've learned, I believe it's safe to say they're being held at Castrum Sentry. So let us convene at Revenant's Hall in Mordona. It is as good a place as any to prepare, and better than most. The road leading east then south will get you there. When we arrive, let us seek the advice of the local adventurers. We're bound to learn a thing or two that will benefit our mission. No worries, sir. I'll see you there. It's not the first time I've passed through Revenant's Hall. I think on turning in this quest, that might have to be the end of the stream. Yeah, it's 1 to 11, which is... Oh, never mind, it's just gone 11, which is generally when I finish up. Or try to on Mondays. Well met, friend. What brings you to Revenant's Hall? Castrum Sentry. Did I hear you rightly? Your friends are being held captive at Castrum Sentry, and you want to rescue them. I don't mean to discourage you, but that might prove difficult. The stronghold has been on high alert of late, with armoured patrols seen about the perimeter around the clock. Not even a fly could get within 100 yawns of the walls undetected. If the Garleans are alerted to our coming, we cannot know what they will do to Minfilia and the others. We must act with the greatest stealth. Aye, it has to be good old-fashioned infiltration. But with security so tight, how are we going to smuggle ourselves in? Why, I have a mind to walk through the front door. The front door? Aye, we'll disguise ourselves as Imperial troops and march right in. For this, we'll need a few sets of Imperial uniforms, a suit of Magitech armor, and impeccable timing. That's a bold strategy, but it just might work. Where we are, there's certainly no shortage of opportunities to borrow the equipment. Knowing those Imperial bastards, they won't even suspect that we savage Eorzeans would think to use their technology. Then it's settled. If you're determined to go ahead with this, I'd recommend you speak with Glamont. The fellow's got a personal grudge against the Empire, and happens to know a deal about Castrum Sentry besides. I've no doubt that he'd want to be of aid. Ida and I shall go to reconnoitre Garlean activity at the stronghold. Excuse me. It would not do if something were to befall our comrades before we had the chance to act. And come and join us when you're ready, Sorin. Let's do this. Sometimes I wonder, Ida, are there ever times where you're not infused? I'm nothing if not enthused, Ystala, and you're beginning to remind me of Papalamo. Excuse me, might you be, Mr. Glamont? Looking for Glamont, are you? Well, you found him, whoever you are. Yeah, you're looking to get inside Castrum Sentry, and you need my help. Something tells me we're gonna get along just fine. We'll find out just how fine next episode. I think I prefer this one for... maybe not with the hat. I think I prefer this one for Sorin. I didn't make a Mordona Glam. But, well, that's a bit more progress made. And we're definitely getting into, I think, the final chapter of A Realm Reborn. I don't think... To be fair, my next stream is Wednesday. My next Final Fantasy stream is going to be Wednesday, which is... I don't work on Thursdays, which means I can afford to stay up a bit later. I'll see how it goes, but depending on how... I can't quite remember how quickly it escalates. The level of quests we're doing right now are... still 44. I'm not sure how quickly it escalates. But... possible Wednesday I might make a longer stream. And that might be the finale of the A Realm Reborn storyline. But if it's not Wednesday, it will almost certainly be Friday. It would be kind of cool if I could finish it up on Wednesday. So that would mean I'd be finishing up the base story of Final Fantasy XIV on the 14th stream, which is, I don't know, seems like it would be neat to do. But yeah, thank you for stopping by, and yeah, stream schedule for this week is looking as normal. So Final Fantasy on Wednesday and Friday, Subnautica Death Run on Tuesday and Thursday, and Subnautica Below Zero on Saturday. But yeah, until the next stream, I hope you have a good week, and